Class is in session, and man, is it good to say that again. It's hitting the books here on Pub Sports Radio, Season 3. And we're happy to be here. Ian Cameron and my right wing, my line mate, if you will, to use a hockey term. We've done shows on this channel now for years. We're back. It's Connor Mack and yours truly back again for another season. C-Mac, it's college football season. It's back, and that's a very good thing for all of us.
It is. I'm such a big baseball guy, and but man, this summer they always feel long. Maybe it's because we're back to normal sports, like scheduled. We've had these last couple of years with COVID, so it just felt like a long summer. But I'm just glad, football is back. College football, third season hitting the books. I'm pumped, man. Week 0 is not great, and I think there's some good games. I don't know how much of value here. I know you'll probably be firing off. My guy. Shocker. But I hope we'll get through these 7 games that we have and kind of tear them apart here and see if we can get some winners.
Absolutely. We got 7 games for week 0 coming up this Saturday, and we will break them all down for you right here, hitting the books. And we'll be here each and every Monday throughout the college football season, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Move on to San Jose State and USC next up here. And obviously, as you would expect, huge favorites here, the Trojans in the Coliseum, 30-point home favorites, 64.5 being the total in this one. Look, this offense is going to be ridiculously good, to nobody's surprise. We know that what they bring back on this offense coming into this season here, it's going to be Caleb Williams, who's just last year was just an incredible season for him, can do it all, can make all the throws, can stand in the pocket and throw, can throw on the run, and we know what kind of a dangerous player he can be as far as taking off and running with the football with his athleticism as well. So just the complete package, and we know what he was able to do down the stretch last year. Incredible performances, and they needed to be really strong on offense. 3rd in the country in scoring, 41 points per game, 3rd passing yards per game, 335 yards per game through the air for this Trojans team last year, and then rushing, offense, not nearly as good, but I think when you look at this year's team, there's going to be a team that's going to try to be able to be better in terms of running the football. Now, Travis Dye, of course, is gone now to the NFL, but when you look at it, Marshawn Lloyd, they bring him in from South Carolina. Austin Jones still there, so there's still going to be some options here as far as running the football is concerned. I mean, as far as this USC receiving core that Caleb Williams has to work with, it's still pretty stacked. Even after the guy that transferred from Pitt, Jordan Addison, moved on, they've still got a ton of weapons here for Caleb Williams. It's going to be fun to watch Brendan Rice. It's going to be fun to watch Dorian Singer, who transfers over from Arizona. I mean, they're certainly going to have just a ton of weapons. Mario Williams back once again. It's just going to be an absolutely fun offense to watch again. And Lincoln Riley's got basically all the tools at his disposal here for this team to be just an absolutely sick, dynamic, explosive offense. And San Jose State's going to have to deal with them. Now, the offensive line, it's going to be interesting here for them coming into the season because there's some turnover there along the offensive line. So it's going to be, that's going to be an area to watch moving forward. Brett Nielsen, Andrew Voorhees, couple of the starters gone from last year. Will they be able to replace those guys adequately? Probably, because when you talk about a school like USC, when you lose good players, you're usually able to plug and play and reload and still be pretty solid. And again, when you're playing a team like San Jose State where you're just outmanned in the line of scrimmage, it's not going to show up, any kind of, roster personnel turnover early in the season when you're playing this kind of opponent. If you're playing like, Oregon, or, one of the better teams in the Pac-12, Utah, early in the season, that's different. But you're playing San Jose State, you're probably going to be able to, gradually meld this offensive line to what you want it to be. Obviously, look, last year, defense wasn't really good enough, and it's what held them back. But you look at it, the defensive line, they got Georgia and A&M, transfers from those two schools to really stabilize and improve this D-line coming into this new season. So they really should be better up front, better against the run, better in terms of pass rush on opposing quarterbacks. This guy, watch out for him from Texas A&M. He's going to be probably a sack master for them. Lucas here from Texas A&M. Watch out for him. He could really be strong. Anthony Lucas, in terms of getting that pressure that sometimes they lacked from the pass rush last season. The linebacker spot, there's a little bit of inexperience there compared to last year, but they're going to be helped they got a good transfer out of Oklahoma State, Mason Cobb, to help them out. Secondary, this year should be a group where there's definitely some options. There's a lot of players that have gotten some meaningful playing time in the past, so they should be fine there. So the defense definitely should improve for this USC team. Can it improve enough that it puts San Jose State in a spot where they're going to have a really tough time here moving the football? That's going to end up being the big question. I thought, Connor, that San Jose State was going to be a program that was starting to show signs of life, turn it around, and they had that great 2020 season, that COVID season where they went to the Mountain West Championship game. It was a terrific season for San Jose State, but you're starting to think maybe it was just a product of a crazy time of year where, COVID season and everything was, all over the map and schedules were different. And because since that season, it's been they haven't been able to sustain it. They've kind of went backward. And I like Brent Brennan. Don't get me wrong, but it's just been tough for him to get this team to that upper trajectory. That being said, 7-5 last year, not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. The offense last year was okay, not great. The defense actually wasn't too bad. They bring in Siobhan Cordero now from Hawaii now, end up going to be their new starting quarterback here. Played 4 seasons there. And, of course, when you look at San Jose State, it's going to be nice that he's at least going to have their quarterback here, Brennan and Cordero, that's very experienced. There's a lot of good receivers on this team, which is good. Elijah Cooks, or Justin Lockhart, Charles Ross, Miller. They're all very, very experienced on this group. That's good to see. The key is going to be on defense here. They've lost a lot on the defensive line. They've lost a lot as well at linebacker. And that worries me against USC here in this opener. You already are up against it, and now you've lost a lot of your production along the defensive line. You've lost a lot of your production in the linebacking core. And, man, does that worry me when you're playing USC here in this first game of the season, when you're playing what's probably going to end up being one of the elite and one of the absolute best offenses in college football this season. So, when it's all said and done here, it's a tough ask for San Jose State. This is about as tough as you could ask for as far as this opener is concerned. I would probably look at I just don't know for the over if San Jose State's going to score enough to help that game get over 64.5. You're going to have to probably get USC to 48 or 50 points, 52, and hope you can get 14 from San Jose State or something like that. That's what it's going to take. I would feel if I'm going to bet this thing, because I'd be scared to bet the under, because I think USC can score on almost every possession, honestly, if they want to, if they avoid penalties, if they avoid turnovers. They have that potential in this game. The question is going to be, what can San Jose State do offensively? What I do like is Cordero's got a ton of experience, played a lot of games. Now, he hasn't played many, teams in the caliber of USC, because you're in the Mountain West, but I think San Jose State can chip in a little bit. I definitely have this game circled as potentially playing over 64.5. USC plays up tempo. They're obviously going to be throwing the ball quite a bit. We've seen that here with this USC squad, and they don't mind it. And they've certainly got the quarterback to do that coming into this season once again. And Caleb Williams is definitely a surefire Heisman candidate, but definitely the question is going to be, what can San Jose State do offensively? I would probably lean over, or even a USC team total, just in case, for those people that may be worried about what San Jose State does offensively in this game, because I just don't think that defense is going to be – I think that defense is going to be powerless, in my opinion, to stop USC, because if you're weak on the D-line and up front in the front seven, that's definitely not what you want to see here against a team like an offense like the Trojans. What do you think here, C-Max, San Jose State, USC?
Yeah, on the total, SC was over machine. 11 of the 14 games went over the 64 number, and I think it can too. You mentioned maybe look at their team total. San Jose, you mentioned the problem is their defense. I don't know how they get some stops against Caleb Williams and SC. I like Cordero. He's always been very good. I mean, another all right year, 3,200 yards, 23 TDs. And I think he can move it on this SC defense. All that's being preached, we know how good Williams and this offense is and the weapons they have. is Lincoln Riley. Defense, all spring. The scrimmage, everything I read. But I don't know if there's really a change with him at all. I don't know if they're going to be any better. I think the offense, is a playoff type team, and the defense is middle of the pack. And last year, both teams were very good. San Jose State, too, with turnovers allowed and turnovers forced. They were good. But SC, turnovers allowed 6, number 1, and forced turnovers, remember all those they got was 26. Does that continue? Getting all those turnovers, that kind of helped them out last year because they're going to need it. They do have some studs, on the DA line, obviously 5-star recruits. Kalen Bullock, very good safety, could be an All-American type guy. But yeah, this is just a ton of points. I think both teams score. I need a little bit more with San Jose. I think they can put it, though. I like Cordero. As long as he doesn't throw 3 picks and have this awful, because that can happen. I think if you like SC, maybe look first half, they just jump all over him, if you want to lay this first half with SC, because they should have 3 or 4 touchdowns. So, and in the end, I do think it gets over because I just don't trust SC's defense. I got to see it, though, week 0 here.
Yeah, I think we all are in agreement. I think probably there's a lot of people in the chat that think, USC is going to be able to pop for 40s, if not 50, in this game against this San Jose State defense. It's all going to be, this total is going to hinge upon how much production and how much scoring do you get from San Jose State. And like I say, I think there's a puncher's chance. And look, USC's defense looks to be a little bit better this year, but it was not a great defense last year. I still have visions of that team getting ripped apart in the bowl game by Tulane last year, where Michael Pratt and that great Green Wave offense was just up and down the field, especially in the second half against USC. So that's still the area where you could get a little bit concerned about USC here coming into the new season.